Your greatest victories will never come from the battles you fight. They will come from the battles you never have to fight. Most people think that power is about confrontation, about meeting force with force, about proving yourself in the heat of battle. But the truth, the most powerful people in history, the ones who truly shaped the world, didn't just win wars. They won without fighting. They made their enemies irrelevant. They dismantled threats without raising a hand. And that is the highest level of dominance. Because destroying your enemy isn't about crushing them in combat. It's about making them realize they've already lost before the battle even begins. So how do you do that? How do you dismantle someone without confrontation? It all comes down to three things: control, strategy, and indifference. Master these and you'll never have to fight a battle again. The first step, mastering detachment. Understand this. Your enemy's greatest weapon isn't their words or their actions. It's their ability to control your emotions. If they can make you angry, if they can force you to react, then they've already won. Because the moment you lose control of yourself, you hand control over to them. Think about it. When someone attacks you, whether it's through insults, sabotage, or manipulation, what do they expect? A reaction. They expect you to fight back, to defend yourself, to get caught up in the conflict. That's how they win. But when you refuse to engage, when you don't respond the way they expect, you throw them into uncertainty. Suddenly they don't know how to handle you. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what their next move should be. And that uncertainty, that's what makes people destroy themselves. Because here's the thing, people thrive on reactions. If you ignore an insult, it dies. If you don't respond to provocation, it loses its power. When someone throws fire at you and you refuse to burn, all they're left with is their own frustration. This isn't weakness, it's power. It's understanding human nature at its core. The more silent you are, the louder your presence becomes. The less you react, the more control you have. And in the end, that's what forces your enemy to crumble. Not because you fought back, but because you made their attacks meaningless. But detachment alone isn't enough. You also need to make yourself untouchable. See, when your enemy realizes they can't get a reaction from you, they'll look for another way in. They'll try to sabotage your reputation. They'll look for weaknesses to exploit. They'll do everything they can to drag you down. But here's the secret. When you focus on building yourself so strong, so valuable, so irreplaceable, no attack can break you. Their weapons become useless. Their efforts turn into desperation. Think about it. If someone spreads lies about you, but your actions prove otherwise, what happens? People start to see the truth for themselves. If someone tries to block your success, but you keep rising higher and higher, who looks weak in the end? Not you. This is why the most powerful people never waste time in petty battles. They don't chase after revenge. They don't lower themselves to their enemy's level. Instead, they rise so far above the battlefield that their enemies become insignificant. Because here's what you need to understand. Your enemy's goal isn't just to hurt you. It's to stop your progress, to keep you distracted, to make sure you never reach your full potential. But the second you take your focus off them and put it back on your own growth, you take away their power. And then comes the final move, the one that truly destroys an enemy without a fight. Indifference. See, when someone hates you, when they're obsessed with bringing you down, what they crave more than anything is your attention. They want to know they've affected you. They want to see that their actions had an impact. That's what fuels them. But when you act like they don't even exist, that's what destroys them. When you refuse to acknowledge them, when you go about your life as if they never mattered, they start to unravel. They start questioning themselves. They start wondering why their actions aren't working. And that frustration, that's what eats them alive. Because an enemy only has power if you recognize them as one. The moment you stop seeing them as a threat, they lose all significance. They become irrelevant. And there is nothing more humiliating, nothing more painful than realizing that the person you're trying to destroy doesn't even think about you. That's how you win. Not by fighting, not by engaging, but by making your enemy realize they never stood a chance. And the best part? This doesn't just work against enemies. It works in every part of life. Business, relationships, success. The less you react to negativity, the more power you gain over your own path. The higher you rise, the less the noise matters. So next time someone tries to drag you into a battle, ask yourself, do they even deserve your attention? Because if they don't, you already know what to do. Stay silent, stay focused, keep growing, and watch as your enemies disappear without you lifting a finger.